Well, we know that the MPFA is getting tougher, like I said, and really the teams are really trying to see how they can gather more points for themselves, and it's really getting more competitive across board. So we start with the first story. MPFL, Enyimba edge Lobi Stars in Bauchi as Kwara, Rangers and Insurance wins. They actually won their game. Looking at the fact that Rangers, Kwara United Insurance, Bender Insurance of Benin and also Enyimba International also won their game over there in Bauchi. Well, kudos to all the teams that actually won, especially the team that traveled away and they were able to win the teams like Enyimba International. Well, let's look at the result of all the games played yesterday across the nation. For Lobi Stars, they lost at home. Right now, they play their home games in Bauchi against Enyimba. Ihemefile actually scoring for Enyimba there. Katsina United lost away in Benin City at the Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium by a lone goal, while Enugu Rangers showed their class. They won 2-0 against Ikorodu City, who came visiting at the Cathedral in Enugu. Kwara United, at their own fortress today, did well, defeating El Kanemi Warriors. Despite all the Warriors and style that they came with, they lost that game 2-0 against the home team, Kwara United. 4 matches, and you look at the goal score there. 6 goals were scored in 4 matches, and all the 3 home teams won, while 1 away team, Enyimba, did well by being able to defeat the team they faced at home, Lobi Stars, in their own encounter. After that particular match is played, the table actually turned. Let's look at how the table is in the MPFL. We look at the table from 1 to 10, then 11 to 20. Remo Stars maintained the status quo of number 1 on the log after their match the 22, which Shooting Stars having a match in hand to play. They stand 7th, rather 2nd with 37 points, followed by Rivers United, who actually have 35 points. Enugu Rangers, that win have gotten them to 4th position, having 34 points ahead of Abia Warriors. The Oriental Brothers following themselves, having 33, 34 in that order. A -2 for Abia Warriors and 7 for Enugu Rangers, who are now crawling back to show why they won the league last season, defending champion of the MPFL. El Kanemi Warriors, despite the loss in that encounter, they still stand 6th on the log with 32 points. Ikorodu City also, they lost, but they still at least holding their own it's always good to make while the sun shines. That's what's helping them right now. Stand this 7th there with 31 points alongside Enyimba International, who actually have 31 points also with the 3 as their own goal difference. 21 matches they've played so far. Still have a game in hand to play. Nigerianews and Kwara United, after the Kwara United won their game, they have 29 points. And also for Tornadoes of Mina, they have 30 points with a -1 ahead. Talking about the point there, just a point ahead of Kwara United, who are standing 10th on the log table. If you flip it to the second side of the table, where you have Atland FC standing 11 with 29 points alongside Kano Pillars. Kano Pillars right now, they had to at least suspend their coach for the fact that if you look at the performance and also according to the management of Kano Pillars, they just had to take some actions against their coach. Bayelsa United, Katsina United are standing 13 and 14 respectively, 28, 26 at the point they've gathered. Insurance of Benin, they won their game, now they move up. The fear of relegation is now the beginning of wisdom from some teams because they're beginning to rise up. Bende Insurance are now standing 15 on the log with 25 points, -2 after playing 21 matches. Plateau United also, they held on to the rope despite a form of poor runs. They are trying to see how they will do well, and now they stand having 24 points, 22nd, 16 on the log, and Sunshine South of Akure, the same point they have. Nasarawa United right now, they jumped from 20 to 18 after they won their match in the last game they played. Lobi Stars, they lost over against Enyimba in Bauchi, and Aqua United. These teams really need to tighten the belt because it's getting really competitive. 22 matches played so far in the Nigerian Premier Football League, and we look at the first two that has to do with those teams, and you just have to appreciate the fact that the teams are really trying to see how they can do, especially those at the number 1 to 5, holding on to the rope to see at least if they can win it. Well, for Remo Stars, they just want to do the unbelievable thing by making sure they continue to push for this league. Just last season, they almost got there, but this time around, they are holding on to the rope of climbing the number 1 position. And really, they've been on it, and let's see, maybe they'll be able to hold on till the end of the league. Well, the two coaches of that's Lobi Stars coach and also Enyimba, they spoke to the press after that particular game in the post-match where Enyimba won against Lobi Stars. We have it, Stanley Eguma and Daniel Amokachi.
Congratulations, coach, for the win and a draw at home and then a win now. What does this mean to the team?
Well, it's part of the game. You see, we drew at home and there we're winning. That means that no two games are the same, and we are still working. It's a new reunion. Joining the team this past month, and we are still trying to understand very well ourselves. The players understanding my philosophy and me understanding my players. So it is a work in progress. I think with time we are going to get it better. There's not yet time for celebration because we're not happy in the position we are in the Lord. We have to do something to move up there, and I think today we thank God that we're able to push forward. Coach, I congratulate the players for their effort, and I hope that they will put in more effort in subsequent games, better effort, and then to enable us to get better results.
As an old horse in this trade, what do you say about the officiating?
We were struggling with fitness. We have Ekachi Okafor, who we brought from Rangers, who had a wonderful game in Rio, who scored. But then today, he didn't get it too easy. OC came off the bench, but that's the worry. You play football, you create chances. This is not the best of games that we played. We know we can play better, and we know we create chances. But to hit the back of the net has always been a problem. And if you don't score, you keep remaining in the red zone, and we'll keep working and keep trying to see that we improve it.
Coach Daniel Omokachi, congratulations on the
Stanley Eguma there, and also Daniel Amokachi, the technical advisor of Lobi and also Enyimba International Football Club. Both of them trying to look at what happened after the game. It was a tough one for Lobi Stars right now. That team really needs to do well. If you look at where they are on the log table, and for Daniel Amokachi, what's happening? Well, despite all the experience, it seems it's not working out. Well, we'll wait to see what's going to be happening concerning that team. For Stanley Eguma, he said we are work in progress. We're trying to see how we can do better and at least garner more points as we go in the MPFL. Really getting more interesting in the Nigerian Premier Football League Match Day 22. Well, the completion there for all the games played during the weekend and also on Monday. We just brought to you there. Now, looking at the top scorers in the MPFL, the race for the top scorer is getting more juicy by the day. If you start from the bottom, let's look at Ishola Delani from Ikorodu City alongside Ahmed Musa, Kano Pillars, and also Osi Martins of Lobi Star. They are on 6 goals, but 3 of them on 6 goals. And you look at the performance there, Ahmed Musa non-stop scoring. He has 6 goals to his credit with Kano Pillars, Shola Delani, Ikorodu City, and Lobi Stars Osi Martins also doing well, scoring 6 goals there. Well, if we move up by just 1 more goal, you have Sunday Megwo of Abia Warriors, actually have 7 goals. Emmanuel Ogbole, Kwara United, actually right now he has done well too, been able to at least score 7 goals. And we have Ibrahim Mustafa of El Kanemi Warriors, who also have done well by scoring 7 goals for El Kanemi Warriors. Kano Pillars ageless player Rabi Wali actually with 8 goals, and you have Anas Yusuf from Nasarawa United, the solid miners, with 13 goals after playing 22 matches. Match day 22, Anas Yusuf leads the pack there in the Nigerian Premier Football League as the top scorer so far. So he deserves all the accolades right now. Scoring 13 goals is not a child's play. So kudos to him and kudos to the entire team of Nasarawa United being able to rally around him to get those goals for them. The Solid Miners are pushing for this, and right now they begin to climb up from 20, they jump to 18, and their striker, one of their players, is doing so well, scoring 13 goals there. Kudos to Anas Yusuf. So the race continues for the battle of who actually will top the league, and it's going to be a tough one because whoever wins this particular top scorer will earn a lot at the end of the season. You know, there's always an award for that. Well, for all the teams participating, a tough one it is, but they are trying their best to see how they will do well for this season. Well, just to catch a glimpse again of this particular match, we'll be right back after this short timeout. Lobi Stars versus Enyimba. Good to have you back on the show, 360 Sport on Trust TV. We're talking about the MPFL, looking at those games that were played yesterday. 4 matches were played, 3 wins for home team and 1 win away for Enyimba International. Looking at that game you just saw there. Well, fantastic performance from Enyimba, being able to go to Bauchi, and they won that encounter. Stanley Neguma leading them to win that game against Daniel Amokachi-led Lobi Stars. And we've also looked at the table, looking at how all the teams are standing after the completion of match day 22 on Monday evening. And also the top scorers, Anas Yusuf of Nasarawa United leading the pack there with 13 goals they have so far scored in the MPFL. Well, still talking about the MPFL, a particular team from the North Central, Plateau United, they deemed it fit to quickly send a note of warning to their coach. Let's look at that story. Poor performance. Plateau United hands Mbwa's Mangold 3-match ultimatum. Looking at where they are on the table, you know that really they deserve to quickly issue this particular ultimatum. Like one of the fans said, it's really overdue for the fact that they ought to have done this earlier than this. But right now, for poor performance, Plateau United are really struggling. Right? When if you look at the way the table is in the MPFL, I'm on the bottom table, and right now they are really trying to see how that team will get their acts together. They just have to send a note of warning to their coach. That's Coach Mango concerning this 3-match ultimatum. Win these games, and then we get you to be with that particular team. And if you lose, well, let's just see what happens after 3 matches. Then we boot you out. Well, let's look at the letter that actually came up concerning this particular ultimatum coming from Plateau United. Plateau United FC management hands technical advisor Mango and his technical team 3-match ultimatum. The decision followed the culmination of a high-power meeting involving the club general manager, Osea Motla, and management staff that was done on Monday following a string of disappointing results. According to Motla, it's hoped that this decision comes with the intensity needed to drive the club's fortune upward as well as satisfy a result-hungry fan base. He added that his decision followed a careful examination of key matters leading up to the poor performance thus far. Plateau United faced Niger Tornadoes of Minna, El Kanemi Warriors of Maiduguri, and Ikorodu City of Lagos in the next 3 games that they'll be playing. So those are the ultimate games that they've given to the coach for him to do well, at least for the ones to get Plateau United back to where they belong among the top teams in the MPFL. But right now, the team are struggling, and they just have to find a way to make sure Mango do well with that particular team called Plateau United. If you look at them, Plateau United are standing 16 with 24 points, just 2 points ahead of Nasarawa United, who are standing 18 right now. Well, it's not a safe haven for them at all. A -3 from 22 matches. And you look at Plateau United, they just have to up their antics if they are to do well in this league. And right now, they will be facing those teams, Tornadoes, El Kanemi, and not forgetting Ikorodu City, who also will be gunning for wins. So for Plateau United, they just have to come out smoking. And for Coach Mango Dumboas, he also needs to work with his technical crew to see how they can deliver in the next 3 games for them to be able to save their job coming from Plateau United Football Club management. Well, that's a good one. At least they just have to sit them down and discuss with them for them to get the result for that particular team called Plateau United in the MPFL, showcasing our own football league. No one will do it except we do it ourselves. So we continue to push for the betterment of Nigerian football league and also sport in general. The development of Nigerian sport is paramount. From there, let's talk about another story. Just recently, the Nigerian Sports Commission appointed Yusuf Ali to head the elite sport. Where they have a lot of Nigerian stars who actually were part of that particular team. And now they are doing well. They're trying to set up a committee to see how they will be able to make sure doping becomes a thing of the past. Well, according to this story, Nigeria vows zero tolerance ahead of international competition. Yusuf Ali is the CEO of the elite athletes, and looking at the welfare of Nigerian athletes. According to Yusuf Ali, they want to make sure Nigerian athletes compete without having to go through issue of doping sanctions and all that. So that's why they want to make sure they sensitize all the Nigerian athletes to know that yes, you can compete fairly without going into doping system, so that you will not put yourself, your name, and also the nation's name in jeopardy. Because if you are caught, that will be a big problem. Looking at the story there, well, for the fact that they are putting zero tolerance They don't want all the Nigerian athletes. Yusuf Ali himself has been at least a former athlete for Nigeria. He has been there. He knows what it takes to run fairly, to compete fairly. So all the Nigerian stars, athletes in different sports, wrestling, weightlifting, athletics, track and field, they're trying to see how they can at least encourage them to compete favorably, compete fairly without going into doping. And also trying to see how they can push Nigeria to go back into that force they used to maintain in athletics, wrestling, and also weightlifting. And they are really doing so well. You just can't take that away from Nigerian sportsmen and women. And that is why the man, Yusuf Ali, and the entire elite welfare board are working hard to see how they will make sure everything goes well with Nigerian athletes, where they will compete fairly without going into doping. And we know what doping can do to the careers of athletes. Some will be suspended for life, some will be getting some ultimatum, but really it doesn't go well. We actually knew what happened to Toby Admission when she was sanctioned, even before she was cleared. It really affected her, but she was able to rise from the peace of that particular situation. But we've seen a lot of athletes that issue of doping has affected their career. We don't forget in a hurry all the other athletes like Okagbare Blessing, who also went through the issue of doping, and a host of others who also went through the same doping system. Well, right now, according to Yusuf Ali, they are doing everything possible to sensitize all Nigerian athletes to make sure they compete fairly and justly so that they can do it without going into doping, considering what they eat, what they drink, liquid and all that. Even the soap they use to take their bath, they should watch it, because you never can tell the chemicals that have been put into all these products that they are going to be using. That's why we just have to quickly touch on that particular story, where Nigeria will be at least getting out of this issue of doping with no tolerance at all for it. They will not encourage any athlete to go into doping. Well, we looked at that particular story, and right now we go straight to the next one that has to do with Nigerian stars that play their football businesses over there abroad. At least they've been doing well over there, trying to see how they will do in different clubs they find themselves. The likes of Boniface doing so well, Onuachu, Aribo, Truth Ekon, they were on target over the weekend. They all did well in their different clubs. Not forgetting Ibrahim Olawa in Turkey. Others too, like Dessa with Rangers in Scotland, they also did well. And just have to appreciate what all Nigerian stars are doing. That's a good news for the fact that the likes of Boniface, despite what happened to him concerning the transfer deal that went down, still he was able to come back, get his act together, and he was able to score for Bayern Leverkusen. Looking at that story, alongside the suspect is here in the studio, although before he actually came on, we're taking some stories, but right now, the suspect is here, although a football suspect, sports analyst suspect. Olaleputa is here. Anytime I say suspect, so that people will not be thinking we have become FBI, but seriously, good to have you.
Thank you, Adene. It's my pleasure being here. And thanks for having me too. I think it's a good one. The first story you read before I came into the studio about the doping, I think what they really need to do is all about sensitization. They need to really sensitize people a lot. When we're talking about sensitization, it also speaks to updating the website to let people know what are the substances that has been banned. Like rightly put, probably bathing soap. There's some chemical. I don't want to start talking about the components, chemical that we have in bathing soap, tetrasulfuric acid and stuff like that. Probably they've banned 1, 2, or 3 of them. Unknown to these athletes, they will go and use it. You got a point? And by the time they go for tests, it will pick that they've used a banned substance. No Nigerian athletes from the history that have known of that deliberately on their own use
banned substances, right?
No, they can use a banned substance without knowing, but deliberately going into doping.
Okay.
None of them have ever done that. So that means Yusuf Ali and his team, they have a lot to do in sensitization, as far as may be. Even some of our local food here, fufu, also known as aku, you have to know what are the chemical components in it. Even the garri that you normally drink also, you have to be sure that there is no chemical component in it that have been banned. So, it goes a long way. But we have this mentality in this country that when you hear that, someone has been alleged for doping, the next thing, he has taken substance like cocaine or what have you. That is not the issue. Most of it is is an issue of them not knowing the substance that has been banned. So the owners lied on the Nigerian Federation to make sure that constantly they do what they update, then constantly they do a seminar to sensitize, even right from the young age, not until when they get to that stage before they'll be able to let them know what doping is. Something that even right from the Nigerian the youth game that we play in this country, they should try and introduce it from that level, not until when you get to the international level you start sensitizing. Like those in Europe, they know this even right from the secondary school. Right from their secondary school, they know what doping is. They know the substances that they are not supposed to take. If you're a footballer, if you're a boxer, if you're a cyclist, even 2 months, 3 months, 1 month before the real competition, they will tell you that don't do this, don't do that. So it's something that we need to also do in the country to really help us.
Okay, and then from there, I was talking about Nigerian players abroad who did so well during the weekend. A lot of them, Olawonyi, Sibidesa, Victor Boniface, Onuachu, Aribo, a lot of Nigerians really do. Even for Al-Khulud, Truzekong also scored, even though they lost that game. Sibidesa is doing so well, has scored 18 goals for Rangers. A lot of Nigerian stars are doing so well.
They're always doing so good. When they are
online, not too.
Where they are applying their trade, their professional football. But when it comes to the country, we are appealing to them that they should replicate the same passion,
the same energy,
the same passion, dedication, commitment, and energy to make us proud. They did very well, especially the child that plays for Southampton. I'm talking about Aribo and Onoa. It's more like a relegation derby between Ipswich City and Southampton, and having two Nigerians scoring the 2 goals, giving them the 3 points, having lost 6 consecutive matches. I think it's something that they themselves will be proud of, and the club will be proud of Nigerians also. Then Boniface also, I'm very happy that he also he bounced back. He bounced back. Let's say bounced back because of all these transfer saga, left, right, and center. He didn't allow it to affect him, and that is the Nigerian spirit. When you think we are down, that's when we're going to come up and tell you that no, we not die, we still there alive, as we normally say it here. So I think it's a very good one for all of them. So if you look at all the players that performed very well, we have about 7 Nigerian strikers abroad or wingers that scored over the weekend. So that shows that wing play or striking, it's never a problem for us in this country. I'll still continue saying it. What we really need to look out for is to see how we're going to coordinate our midfielders. From all the players that you've mentioned now, how many of them are real midfielders? So we still don't have. So that is what we really need to look into. But if you're talking about the wings and the attacks, take it or leave it. It's going to be a headache for the coach to even pick who is going to be my first 3 or my first 2, depending on the formation that he wants to use. So a very good one. We'll continue to keep tab on them. And not only this also, I don't know the reason why you deliberately, I'm going to use that adjective deliberately, omitted Nwaneri. Because he is in Nigeria.
I'm coming to Ethan's skin.
No, you're not coming to Ethan's skin because he did very well for Arsenal. Over, is it that you are now switching
to that? Don't be in a hurry. You already know where I'm going. Seriously, you already know where. But now that you're trying to draw it out, I didn't want to showcase the elephant. It's bouncing back.
It's bouncing back.
Seriously, the elephant is bouncing back. I'm still going to get there. I have at least 2 gifts for you.
2 gifts for me. Okay,
before we wrap the show.
That would be lovely.
I have 2 gifts for you. So meanwhile, good one. Congrats to Chelsea.
Okay, what did they do?
At least they were able to win against West Ham. Come on.
Beating West Ham has been a culture and tradition.
What if they lost yesterday?
Beating West Ham has been a tradition and culture for Chelsea. It's a derby and something that Chelsea have an edge over them. So to me, it's not a congrats.
So what happened to your blue today?
The blue has always been blue.
Anyway, just trying to show some banter in the studio concerning the show 360 Sports alongside Olawale Peters. We're talking about Premier League right now, where we look at our story. Premier League, Chelsea beat West Ham in Stamford Bridge, and they did well. At least they were able to win that game. Congrats to them. At least at Stamford Bridge, rather, they were able to win that game right now. That has actually given them an edge. And you look at the Blues, they are not giving up at all. They are still firing up to see how they can make it in the Premier League. Well, looking at this particular game, we look at it alongside the table. Maybe we should just let's look at the table first, then quickly just looking at the top 10 of the table of the Premier League. You have it there. Chelsea Well, they've taken over again, standing fourth on the low 43, 3.4 points behind Nottingham Forest. Someone asked a question, what's wrong with these Forest people? They are really doing so well. 4 points between Forest and Chelsea. And I just hope that they will not use the Forest to block Chelsea's views.
Well, if you look at the table, it's looking very interesting. You call it first 10, I call it page 1. Because we have page 1 club, we have page 2 club. Any team that didn't
you see here, they're in page 1.
Page 1. The others, they are in page 2.
You can see the elephant, 50.
Well, the elephant has been there very well. The elephant is just like a student with good handwriting but failing exam. Okay, and there's no trophy for coming second, third, fourth. But there's only trophy for whoever wins the Champions League. And it's over 20 years that your elephant has won trophy last. So I don't think it's something that you should be celebrating that you are bouncing back. If you look at the gap between your so-called elephant and Liverpool, it's 6 points. And Liverpool, they still have a game at hand against Everton that they are playing tomorrow. So if they should win the match, so that means they're going to go 9 points clear. If they should draw the match, that means 7 points clear. If they lose the match, 6 points clear. And the pace, the rates in which the Liverpool are playing, they are firing their cylinder in all angles. Look at the Champions League. Look at what they did. Look at the FA Cup. Look at the Carabao Cup also. So it's like, this is more like their season. So take it or leave it. If Arsenal did not win the league this season, I think it would be so disappointing to have a coach coming in for the first time. I'm talking about Slot this time around for Liverpool, and winning without signing just a single player. The player that he signed just this January transfer, but when he came in, he inherited all the team from Georgian club and was able to do it. So I think you should not celebrate the elephant. It's not something that they should celebrate, to be honest with you. Because before the season started, even last season before, we are all thinking that Arsenal, looking at the way the team play like a unit, like a team, they're supposed to have been the one, they're supposed to be the one winning the Premier League. We thought they were going to challenge Man City last season, but they're not challenging. Look at this season also.
Okay, maybe let me just draw you back, because the way you are going now, let me draw you back.
I'm being sincere here.
I know you are sincere. But what you couldn't do, Arsenal did it against Man City.
See,
convincingly.
Adeniyi, defeating Man City doesn't win you a trophy.
I know.
And let me tell you what Sir Alex Ferguson do normally say, that he concentrated in beating the below top 14 than beating the top 14. Beating the top 14 cannot win you trophy. Take it or leave it.
Well, at least
so the problem that Arsenal has been having for the past 2-3 seasons is when they are playing, okay, which team made them to lose out last season in the Premier League? It's against Aston Villa. The 6 points they dropped, both home and away, it cost them a lot. It's not about beating Manchester City. It's not about beating Manchester United. Oh, sorry for talking about Manchester United. They don't
I didn't go there
this time around. So I'm not going there, okay? It's not about defeating Liverpool. It's about all this mid-table team. You see Fulham, Bournemouth, Forest, Crystal Palace, all those teams, the point that you get from them, it's something. You don't need to expand all your energy because you are playing Manchester City.
You mistakenly mentioned Forest, mid-table.
No, I didn't mistake.
Okay.
No,
the regular
mid-table, because they are just there this time around. Just like Leicester City won it, came surprisingly about a few years ago, and they won the Premier League. We have them season in, season out. So take it
or leave it. A flash in the pan.
Exactly. So take it or leave it. Arsenal defeating Man City
that Chelsea could not
defeat. It's like you saying that Nottingham Forest defeated Liverpool and Chelsea defeated Nottingham Forest. Chelsea is better than Liverpool.
Appreciating what they've done. Arsenal that defeated Man City that Chelsea could not.
Chelsea defeated Nottingham Forest that Liverpool could not.
Nottingham Forest.
So you see, that analogy to me, it doesn't really work.
Okay, I agree.
But for consolation and for the Arsenal fan outside there, because they need something to be happy about, congrats for beating Man City that Chelsea cannot beat.
Now you have actually taken
that.
Trophy, right? I'll give you a gift.
That's one year
I'll
trophy.
get you a gift. Don't worry, the gift is gone. Anyway, we've been talking about the Premier Football League match played yesterday between Chelsea and West Ham. Battle of London at the Stamford Bridge, where Chelsea were able to win that particular encounter. Kudos to them. They did it, and now they're celebrating. They are looking at that smile and also the hug, and look at the performance of their entire team. And Chelsea really trying to recall players, sending players off on loan, and a lot of things happening concerning the Blues. Well, looking at the Blue story now, from there, maybe as it is, this season, Chelsea, to some extent, if you are to rate them, how would you rate them?
Okay, to me, they've exceeded expectation.
Okay.
That's the truth. Nobody gave Chelsea team the chance or the opportunity that they will be where they are currently in the season. Nobody gave them that opportunity. We thought they would be where Manchester United is. I'm not bantering Manchester United, but I'm saying the reality.
Well, you are stylishly.
No. I'm saying the fact.
Okay.
People thought that by now Chelsea will still be struggling in the mid-table, not that they'll be where they are. So that's why when the hype was much then that they are title contender, the coach came out and he told everybody, even the players also, no, we are not. Our aim is to play in Europe next season if we get it. And that's the truth. Because what you fail to understand is you cannot have a keeper like Roberto Sanchez and you have a striker like Nicholas Jackson and you want to compete for Premier League. It is not possible. And the kind of defense that the Chelsea had also, it's not possible. Look at the Liverpool team. They are a unit. They cannot be affected with injury in one way or the other. Even look at Arsenal also. Saka is injured, but they are still trying to pull it out. So those are the teams that you can say they are title contender. Take it or leave it. Chelsea, they've exceeded all expectation as far as I'm concerned this season. So they can be able to manage the top four. And if you look at the top four right now, okay, thank you for showing us the page 2 also, so that they will not be they won't be angry that we didn't show them.
That team that refused to leave 30. I don't know what is it with Manchester and number 13. Amorim met them on 13th position. Still 13th position.
And Ten Hag met them 13th position.
What is the problem?
He left them in 13th position.
Okay, maybe they are taking the cue from Chelsea. That was the time Chelsea was kind of, was it 10 or 11? 10, 11,
no,
10?
Chelsea didn't get agreement to stay on 13 for like 7 or 8 matches. Chelsea were moving from 10, 11, 10,
It was 10, 11.
10, 11.
They were moving, at least they were.
But now, Man United needs to be very careful. Because look at their next 2-3 matches. They're going to play Arsenal, they're going to play Newcastle. And look at where they are currently now. They're having 29 points. So that means if Tottenham and West Ham should win their next 2-3 matches, this 13 points story will change to 14 and 15. Currently now, they are playing their worst season so far in their history. So I think a lot is fundamentally wrong with the United. The structure, the management. I don't think the players are the problem.
I think to some extent now, Ronaldo's interview is really haunting.
It is, because if you look at some of their players that they loaned out or they sold out, look at Sanchez in Chelsea. It's far better than the Sanchez that we know in Manchester United. Look at Elanga in Nottingham Forest.
And they are doing
Look
well.
at Biasaka also in West Ham. Look at most of these, they are players. Look at McTominay also that left to play.
And I will not be surprised now by the time Rashford gets to Aston Villa and he picks up.
That means something is really wrong with the structure, with the strategy, and with the management that they really need to look into. That's for that. Then if you look at the the bottom table, that's the page 1.
Page 2.
The top table rather.
Okay.
That's the page 1. See, it's going to be a very tense top 4 this season. When I say tense one, it's going to be very, very intense this time around. And if you look at Bournemouth, they're having 40 points. So that means the difference between 7th position and 4th position is just 3 points. So that means this week, you see someone coming up, you see another person
going down.
So it's going to be very, very intense. Then Nottingham Forest, I think they still have an edge a bit, because they're having 47 points. So that shows that they're having about 7 points from Bournemouth. But their own targets right now, you get to a stage that your performance will make you believe that you've arrived. Beginning of the season, just like Chelsea, nobody gave Nottingham Forest the opportunity or the chance that they'll be where they are right now. But now they're now believing in themselves. Look at what they did to Brighton over the weekend. 7-0. So it's more like they're playing a basketball. So that means their confidence is grooming on a daily basis. So for them to leave the top 4, it will be very, 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 very difficult. Because right now they have that confidence that I can beat any team. So they're not giving anybody respect again. And that's the problem that Manchester City they have currently right now. They've gotten to a stage that no team is respecting them. No team is even giving Erling Haaland that kind of attention that they normally give to him before. They've seen him as ordinary player right now. So it's going to be very interesting to see how it's going to end. Newcastle, Manchester City, Chelsea, definitely one or two of them will drop from the top 4. So they've played only 24 matches. They still have about 14 more matches to go. So it's going to be a very, very interesting one to watch. However, it is pertinent to say this. Liverpool, they are the only team this season that they've never had their off season. And I hope they will not start having it when it matters most. When does it matter most? Around March, April, end of the season. They started losing matches, started drawing points. It will be very difficult for you because at that time, you won't be able to recover the way Manchester City and Arsenal recovered and be here. So I hope that will not happen to them, because if that happens to them, it also throws the title race very, very open.
Very open, the title race. Premier League, where a lot of people are actually giving a comprehensive analysis of how the table is. Well, from 1 to 10, 11 to 20, and it's getting more interesting and more competitive, especially at the top, as they say. The top is always very competitive. Anyway, from there, let's look at it. Let's focus on the winter transfer deal. The window actually closed in some, at least England, Germany, Italy, and Serie A. We quickly look at that on the show. Now, well, notable deals. Let's have the notable deadline day transfer deals of here just overnight. As Axel Disasi from Chelsea to Aston Villa on loan, Carlos Alcaraz, Flamengo to Everton also on loan, Ben Chilwell, Chelsea to Crystal Palace was actually done on loan, Matistel, Bayern to Tottenham Hotspur loan, Nico Gonzalez from Porto to Manchester City, 50 million whooping pounds. Some to Boniface, that name you know is a Nigerian name, Chelsea to Ipswich, undisclosed, Marco Asensio, PSG to Aston Villa on loan, watch out for Asensio. Lloyd Kelly, Newcastle to Juventus on loan, and have Kani Chukwuemeka from Chelsea to Borussia Dortmund also on loan. These are notable deadlines. A lot of them that happened during the day, rather just overnight. And now let's quickly look at, we have three in one. Let's look at it, talking about the spending and all that happened in the transfer window. Total winter window spending. Premier League, they had the biggest. You look at it, it's far, far higher than others. Serie A, second on the log. Ligue 1, France, Saudi Pro League, Bundesliga, MLS, Major League Soccer in America, Championship, the second tier of league football in England, and La Liga. La Liga didn't really buy so many players. And still looking at it, let's move to the second one, talking about spending by Premier League clubs in winter by pounds. We have Manchester City, look at it, and the rest of Premier League. Man City, in yellow, 180. The rest of Premier League, 190. Just they bought so many. They really spend the money this January, maybe because of the dip in form. The third one, Premier League spending by year. You look at it by year, you have to give credit to Premier League. They've been spending so much money. Winter transfer window, 215, 2016, 2017. For this season, they've at least signed 370 million pounds. You calculate it there. You look at for summer transfer window where they used to spend more. They signed 1,980. You look at 370. Looking at all this analysis, seriously, this winter transfer deal, Man City stood out, and the Premier League also stood out.
Okay, to start from the first infographic that we showed, and that's about the major transfer deal. And I think Chelsea, they are really in for business. And I recall vividly when we got the new owner, I said he's coming in as a businessman. He's not really coming as a football lover. That's the difference between him and Abramovich. Now, if you look at some of the major transfers that happened overnight yesterday, 4 Chelsea players, 4 of them, they have to move somewhere else on loan. So that shows that the burden of their wages really went down on them. So that is how you do business. Don't forget, sport and football is nothing but business. A lot of Chelsea fans, they are jubilating this morning. That the likes of Disasi, Chilwell, Chukwuemeka, they are already off the payroll of Chelsea. Then also, Aston Villa also, we have to give kudos to Aston Villa. It's like they really mean business this time around.
Seriously.
So what they are trying to do is they're looking at their position in the Champions League. They're looking at their position in the league table also, because they are currently about 6 or 7 on the league table. So that means they can still fight for a stop, either top 4 or to play in Europe next season. So that's why you can see that they bought in 2 players. This is excluding Marcus Rashford also that's already joined them. So that shows that they are beefing up, they are trying to expand their team. And that's what you need to do in Premier League if you want to compete in the domestic league and in the Champions League also. So if you go to the second slide, about the highest spender, I'm not surprised. Premier League has been the primus inter pares when it comes to the best among equal in all the league in the world. It's the most watched league, it's the most entertainment league, and it's the most profitable league in the world. So you have to spend to be able to, in business, if you don't spend, you can't get more income. It's all about what you spend. So that's why they get in a lot of stars to come in and play. And that is what Saudi are trying to do what? To take a leave from them. So I think it's a very good one. So I'm not surprised with the spending of Premier League, but I'm surprised that Saudi, they said they want to be the top 5 league in the next 3-4 years. And if you look at the spending right now, it shows that they really meant business, and they're going for some of the stars that will make their league to be very popular. So we have to really watch out for Saudi league. For the Manchester City, spending 180 from the 190 that was the rest of Premier League spends. I hope they are not doing panic buying. Panic buying in the sense that the situation that they have right now is very precarious for them, and they are looking for what to do to remedy their situation. I hope it's not going to be a panic buying that at the end of the day, Pep Guardiola just trying to tell her that no, I'm going, it's enough. Another coach will come, he wants to start something else again. So I think this is very good.
If that is the case, let them enjoy their panic buying. Anyway, before we go, even though I told you I have a small gift, although it's not a gift anyway, because you are not into that club.
I know.
But let's look at those twins, please.
I know what you can do.
Well, anyway, just to at least look at these twins. What happened to them? Remember the Manchester twins in your prayers. They are going through a lot.
Yeah, they are really going through a lot, but one is going through a lot than the other.
The one in red?
The one in red is going through...
the one in blue?
The one in blue is also... Yeah, I agree. Both of them are going through a lot because someone that has been the perennial winner...
Someone that is used to winning.
Win. Like the 4-5 season ago now, they've won Premier League how many times? And you're talking about the so-called best club in England now finding themselves dealing with Crystal Palace,
and now panic buying. They are panic buying now.
No, they are not even panic buying. They are panic selling.
Well, our time is up. Look at how gallant the elephant is.
Yeah, we'll see at the end of the season. Maybe the elephant will try to climb the tree and fall down. I'll bring the picture for you.
Oh my goodness. We just have to showcase this alongside Olale Peter so much. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
It's my pleasure being here.
Okay, for those Chelsea fans, Arsenal fans out there, just part of the show, just to make it very interesting. I'm Adeniyi Ajishafe. As we always say, sport is always business and fitness. Thanks for watching.